Yo, what is up everybody? Chris here from FaZe Sports News, Axe Rotation, however the flip you know me in these interwebs, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a quick recap of what happened during today's matches, of course at time of recording, that being day 3 of CDL Major 1 in beautiful Dallas, Texas. Took me a second because these days are all kind of blending together. They've been very long. Today was another 8-hour day for your boy, so it's now hour 8, and I'm just trying to wrap it up before I go watch some UFC. I think Volkanovski fights tonight. I think that's who it is. Hopefully Volk wins if he's fighting tonight. That Islam loss, man, that really hurt. So, gotta see my goat get back. But anyways, back to the COD. Let's get started with the Riyadh Falcons versus FaZe Vegas. Let's get right into it. No dilly-dallying, you know, just on the grind this weekend. So as you guys can see on on COD stats, there's G-Stake wagering, which is just a free part of the site. You log in, you claim your G-Stake, and then you can wager it on different series, and you get more G-Stakes based on how much you invest, and obviously what the odds are. Favored teams get you less G-Stakes in your payout, which is why I wagered 23 credits on FaZe, and I was paid out 43. So yeah. It's betting, but you don't put your own money in, and you don't gain or lose any money. It's just pure fantasy, so that's why I like it. So, speaking of things I like, we had the series MVP as Mr. Abuzah himself with the telling him to sit down. You know, he said Cellium, Bellium, Helium, don't matter. Abuzah in 5, you know. 1.39 KD, 111 kills, 80 deaths, 13,000 damage, and a 1.04 series IR. So, Abuzah had a pretty good series. He had a boat KD, if you look at it, 1.75, 1.14, 1.16, 1.23, and a 1.75 to boot at the end. So he had the same KD in map 1 and map 5, which is actually pretty insane considering map 1 is obviously hardpoint and map 5 is S&D. So if you have the same KD in S&D and hardpoint and it's above like a 1.5, that's pretty unreal. So looking at KDs, we see that Cellium on the Riyadh Falcons was the only one to go even. But he was pretty low engagement. He had the lowest engagements on his team, but the most damage consequently. He had a lot of hill time as well. He had the second most on his team, which is a little bit surprising for Cell, because he's usually Iron Boot in the back of the spawn, kind of like Insight, not usually a hill kitten. So maybe his role is becoming more of a hybrid AR, and he's just kind of like becoming an AR that just gets into whatever position the team needs him to, and fills gaps similar to, well, Scrap's a very stationary AR. I guess more like a Kenny kind of flex player. But Cell's always been kind of a flex, so that makes sense. But I feel like he'd be main AR on this team. Anyways, getting too into the weeds. Abuzah had a 1.39. Simp had a 1.12, the GOAT. 1.06 from the CEO. And then 04 had a really, really bad day. He played terrible all day long, I'm not going to lie. And yeah, a little bit concerning, but I think he gets back tomorrow, especially against G2. I mean, he said a lot about them, and yeah, I think he wants to really prove that they're not as hopeless as they looked in the 2 times they faced them. So let me pull up the highlights. Okay, as always, shameless plug. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, we were at 664 yesterday. We've gone up 4 subs today. So thank you to everyone who's joined the channel. It's been a great weekend. Been getting a lot of views, a lot of subscribers. Really appreciate all the new people who have come to the channel. Excuse me. Most of you aren't subbed that watch the channel, but hey, it takes time to get people to rock with you and trust what you're doing. So I appreciate everyone that has. So let's get into this one, which is, of course, FaZe versus Riyadh. 45 minutes worth of highlights here. So let's get into the ending of the game, because Riyadh actually, the thing I wanted to talk about, Riyadh actually had them down really bad. It was 110 to 10 at one point. So let me show you guys just how bad it got. So it was my bad. It got to 120 to 10. 121 to 10. So, fast forward, and let's get to the end. FaZe just kept inching and inching and inching closer until they were right there. Still, you had about a 60-point difference there, 50, 60-point difference there. You had another 50-point difference here, right? 230 to 185. And then FaZe hold this, reset, they hold the P1, get themselves right back in the game, and then it all comes down to the P2, which we'll watch together right here. Simp goes huge, goes nuclear, makes a big play with the cutoff to P2. The third rotation of Hills. Of course, 04 started out really, really bad. Finished 23 and I guess 33, as you can see here. So FaZe was able to get the dub in map 1 there. As you guys probably saw in the leaderboard, in the scoreboard here, FaZe also went to a game 2, not game 5, round 11. Game 2, round 11, and then the Overload was a 1-score game. This whole series pretty much is going to be in my round 11 and close hardpoint compilations, right? Spare the game 5, but the first game, the second game, the third game, well, not the third game, I don't do overloads. Maybe I should, but I don't know. People don't really like Overload. Like, on YouTube Shorts, most of the comments I get on Overload are people telling me, like, this game mode is so boring and all these other things. They're like, yo, like, why is Overload so boring? And I guess people just don't like it that much, so probably not going to do that. But let's get into the round 11. Let's check that out. So to set the stage and give you guys a little bit of context, because we all require that, right? So as you guys can see, FaZe were up 5-2, and the Falcons were able to force round 11. So let's watch the round 11.
Grenade goes now for 04. You're trying to draw Falcons out.
Does Exodus get a read on that sound cue, though? Celium's in some trouble here. Can he get one? No. Drazah finds
so they isolate Cell. 04 cells.
3v3 situation. Drazah providing coverage as Vegas will get the bomb planted.
You just gotta hold now. If you are Vegas, you know everyone else is in front of you. Someone put yourself in a position.
He got way too eager.
Fred is trying to get this post plant to move.
I kind of didn't like this post plant setup. I really did not like this post plant setup.
Already checking once. Here come the Falcons. They find the first. Now it's not a case. They find the Abuzah. No good help from Drazah.
They're on it.
But they're on it.
It's so frantic, and you have no eyes on bomb either. Is the other thing I don't like about it.
He's able to hold it.
So Exon got the bomb defusal, which was insane. They got the kills. Okay, I didn't edit that part well, but doing 5 in a day, I mean, some things are going to slip through the cracks, unfortunately. So, Goat appears on stage. We see Clay getting hype with the boys. Love that. Goatster on the main stage. Okay, so let's look at the box scores for games 1 and 2 now that we've seen how they went down, and then we'll check out game 3. So, first game, of course, Abuzah, like I said, series MVP, right? Makes a lot of sense that he went nuclear in the game 1 to help them get over the hump. He went 42 and 24. Everybody else had a really slow start to the game, but Abuzah just never stopped shooting, honestly. From the opening to the closing, I mean, Abuzah was just him, right? The reason why FaZe had such a good team KD is largely because he went positive about 18 kills, right? So you can see that they were plus 17 because 04 went neg 10, but his 18 really helped with that a lot, right? Because Simp plus 5 draws point plus 4. Definitely not helping as much as plus 18. So, Abuzah was the hard carry here. Everybody on the Falcons went negative, even though they were very close to winning, and they genuinely should have won this with no effort. But FaZe, they iced up, and they did what they needed to. Then, they traded places like that Eddie Murphy movie, because FaZe should have won this, and they didn't. Riyadh was able to make an insane comeback, obviously, as you guys saw, down 5-2, and they were able to will themselves to a win in the round 11. So, Kismet, the Bulldog, he was off the leash. He was rabid. He was biting all type of people in the neighborhood. I mean, neighborhood watch and animal control were on that man because he was just all over the place causing havoc. Alright? So, on the other side, Drazah and Abuzah, the Za brothers, the Zaza twins, whatever people call them on Twitter these days, they had a pretty good game, 8 and 7, but Simp and 04, well, Simp did great. I mean, he's 8 and 9. He died a lot, but I mean, he got 3 first bloods, right? So, and I guess he got 1 first death. So, oh no, those are diffuses. The D stands for diffuse, the P stands for plant. I'm tripping. But he got 3 first bloods, so you got to respect that. Simp was all over the place, and he was dominating in this S&D. But FaZe just didn't have enough to will themselves to a win here. But they did will themselves to win in the Overload Game 3. Drazah, the CEO, took over 25-19. Abuzah 22-19. Simp went even. And then 0-4, another negative game. So he had a pretty bad series, right? Like, he went negative 17. And you need more from 0-4 tomorrow going into that G2 rematch, which we will place a G-Stake wager on in a little bit. Just wait till the end of this video. So you can see Celium was 16-15, Pred 22-21, Exen 26-25, and then Kiz 17-23. So yeah, I mean, Kiz and Cell just didn't have a lot of impact on the map. Exen had 3,000 damage, Pred had 2,700, and then Cell had about 25. So he's putting up good damage, but he just wasn't getting many kills on the map in comparison to X and Pred, that duo. So let's check out the Overload real quick, briefly, see the end of the game, because it did get pretty close, went down to the wire. So let's check out how it ended. Check out the last like minute or so. Let's just watch the last score and then the end of the game.
I was gonna say you've got Abuzah watching that corner. Kismet gets stunned, but the kills come through. Pred for 3. 1-point game. Pred on 5 in a row. Could be building towards the Hellstorm as Kismet is putting some pain into the spawns.
Yeah, you give him that Hellstorm.
Challenge from Pred. He nearly wins. But Kismet's able to at least control the EMP for now and see if he can get the rest of his teammates around him.
Yeah, it's on Celium. He's the lead blocker. Already gets behind him. Sitting at top ring, EMP is on the chase, but eventually he gets spotted, and thankfully you had the safety net in 0-4, puts that to the front side of dirt. So that push gets shut down. All on Pred to alleviate the pressure, only finds 1 kill, and now FaZe, let's play keep away.
Yep.
No need to give this a chance.
And that's exactly the case. Simp is going to go
More
play
Park the Bus
hide
Cheese.
and
When I was
go
watching
seek
this on
in the
stream, I was booing.
And with 20 seconds left,
If I had tomatoes,
someone's
I
gonna
would have
do
thrown them at
something
my screen, but,
miraculous here for Riyadh.
you know, not trying to make a mess. I mean, I definitely had that SpongeBob vibe when he walked up on the stage and everybody's like, boo, and they start throwing tomatoes, you know. Well, Squidward when he got the tomatoes thrown. SpongeBob was just sweeping it up and getting cheered. But yeah, this was definitely a boo this man type vibe because why are we parking the bus? I mean, I hate the fact, but it is poetic that Falcons started to park the bus cheese and they got hit with it to get sent home. I do find that to be quite poetic, to be honest with you. Because they really pissed me off starting to park the bus cheese, but hey, you know, what hoists you also hangs you sometimes, so it is what it is. It is what it is. So let's check out the end of this hard point. Obviously close when we know Falcons win it, but let's see how it came to fruition.
1 in the back, 1 all the way across the map. You gotta play safe if you're Drazah.
He's able to see 1 over towards Dojo's side, but there's gunshots happening all around. He's got to keep his head on a swivel. Simp eventually able to get here. Finds the first. Can he snap? Yes, he finds the
Dude,
second. Is still inside the
that snap on the second guy was tough.
Spawns have moved though. Falcons have an opportunity.
I love how it says 0-4 in the kill feed. Like, the kill feed was so chalked in this map. I don't know why. Such a weird glitch that's in this game. So the Falcons are here, right?
Yes, they find Drazah, a chance to win the game here.
And it's Pred. It's Pred with the SMG. Finds 4 in a row. Now he's trying to create that extra layer. Only need 10 seconds.
It's got to be from the front for FaZe. First shutdown comes through. Pred watching the rooftop side. Simp, Drazah trying to get there. Not gonna happen. We're going the distance.
Why did Pred, wait, why did Pred Dap sell up like that? wait, what? He didn't even look at him. Bro, he just smacked his hand, didn't even look at him. And then 6-2 in the game 5, we're not watching that. I mean, there's not much to watch, right? So, Abuzah 7-4, Simp 8-5, 0-4, 8-6, and then Drazah, the CEO, 3-4. He had his feet up, he didn't have to do anything. And then Kiz 7-7, everybody else went negative. So, yeah, that's how Simp took down Celium in his first rematch with him. Obviously, Drazah's team with Cell for a while, but Simp team with Cell for 7 years. I mean, it's a little bit more significant that he took him down than it is that Drazah took him down. But they were former teammates, so we'll say Simp and Drazah just because. But yeah, it's definitely more Simp than Drazah that we care about in this scenario in terms of them taking Cell down. Anyways, speaking of people taking down their former teammates in scenarios that we definitely care about, we had who else but Dan Ghosty, the most interesting dropping of last season, right? Getting dropped from the LA Thieves after they won 2 events and looked to be the best team in the world. They had the #1 seed in the CDL going into champs. And yeah, I mean, they won 2 events. Scrap won the season MVP. Didn't see much reason to split the team up. Now you bring in Kenny, you bring in aBeZy. Seems like the Thieves took a step back. So, I don't know. The Gentlemates are only surging ahead more. They've made the winners finals at this point after beating the LA Thieves in the series, obviously. And they looked good going into it. They played OpTic in the Monster Invitational Grand Finals, and they looked phenomenal there. Could have won it, but, you know, rock, cheese, OpTic's just better, cheese, all of it. So, speaking of all of it, Dan Ghosty, 1.27 in the series. He was all of it here. 66 kills, 52 deaths, 8,268 damage, and a 1.2 series IR, which puts him in the elite category. 1.14 on Scar HP, 4.5 on Raid, S&D, and then a 1.14 in the exposure control. Control. Why do I keep saying that? Overload. My guess is that Ghosty's probably 9-2 in the S&D. I can't remember because it was multiple hours ago, but that's my guess. Okay, so this was a close HP. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. How did the game end? All right, the super team indeed got slammed.
And they don't plan on slow.
All right, this should be around the end of the game right here. Maybe.
But he's
All right, here it is. Here it is. All right.
Basically right now between these squads. Yeah, it's a big one-on-one. You can see aBeZy, though. He's going to have to wait for his teammates. All eyes really on him. But he's going to get double-teamed, so he's relying on the other side.
Oh, yeah, Neptune went crazy here.
Scrap, did he do enough? Do enough to get an opening into some of these positions for his teammates. Sib's still going nuts. A nade's going to combo there for aBeZy to hit, but still...
Sib's been having a weekend. If you guys watched yesterday's video, I said last night that Sib and Neptune were my players to watch. And look who closes out this game. Dude, Nep is insane, bro. Nep is insane.
Neptune pops.
This guy is filthy.
And that is going to be a map 1 victory.
That dude got 2, died, came back, and got 5. Like, who is this man? So, let's look at the box score. 36-29 from Sib, 34-29 from Nep, as you saw. He called game, pulled out that trident, and he started going bink, 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 right to the chest of everybody, just like the real Neptune. 32-28 from Ghosty, and Envoy even with 29-29. Yo, I low-key think I had this on play cracked. I think I had Ghosty at like 32-28. aBeZy, 31-29. It was not too easy for aBeZy because unfortunately the Thieves lost. 32-32 from Scrap. He had a pretty decent showing. Hydra, 32-33. And Kenny, he had a rare bad showing here. He got tucked to bed, 20-37. So hopefully this doesn't result in them bringing Neum in. I would really hate for Kenny to get benched and probably retire. That would just suck. So, yeah. I mean, looking at the rest of the series, it was very dominant for Paris Gentlemates. So, Neptune 11-2 in game 2. I was right. Ghosty's KD was 9-2. 4-4 from Envoy and Sib 3-7. He didn't have to do anything. Everybody on the Thieves went pretty negative. Scrap 6-7. Not even gonna make the joke. 5-6 from Hydra. 3-7 from aBeZy. 1-7 from Ken. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Hydra was in the agency at one point. Oh no, that's the FaZe series. We'll talk about that later. So, speaking of things we'll talk about later, we have the exposure at map 3. This was a real blowout for the Gentlemates. Honestly, if you watch the map, the kills were going back and forth, a lot of trades. Honestly, it was just a demon lobby kind of situation. Everybody's just absolutely frying. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just a very close overload. Objective efficiency and parking the bus were the name of the game here. Let's check that out, because there was some park the bus cheese, and I do want to kind of talk about that. Because this one pissed me off the most. This one pissed me off the most. This was the most egregious park the bus cheese I've seen. This really pissed me off, bro. So they go up 1. And then they park the bus, bro. This pissed me off. This pissed me off. 2-1 is disgraceful. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. We want to see some action. We don't want to see you running around looking at people. Like, this ain't Fortnite, gang. This ain't Fortnite, gang. Like, what am I watching? When this happened, and they started running it down in the spawn, this had me geeked up. And then this happened, that pissed me off. I was like, damn. Park the bus cheese almost got negated. But it still works, it's effective, it's cringe. I hate that it works, and I hate that teams won't stop employing it. But I know they won't because it works. I mean, if it works, it works. You just want the win. You don't care how the fans feel about your win.
Sib lining them up, and just like the online qualifier, the result is the same.
So that's how the series ends. Ghosty didn't even talk trash this time, which is kind of surprising. Then you have Envoy, of course, the Dark Prince, with his interview in the Revenge series. Yeah, I mean, Ghosty and Envoy, they were on one. They really wanted to beat the LA Thieves, and they definitely did. So, Speaking of people who really wanted to beat their ops today, we have Mr. Hook as the series MVP in our next series, a hot 3-0 from OpTic Texas over G2 Minnesota. Very uncharacteristic from G2, we'll talk about that later. But as you guys can see, this was my big bet of the day on G-Stake. I wagered 186 credits, which was half of what I had at the time. I knew OpTic was going to farm these guys. Honestly, I thought it would be a 3-0, and it was. So, yeah, there it is. I mean, we just all kind of knew that this was not the matchup that OpTic should have gotten if we wanted to get a competitive and very interesting series from a visual point of view, right? It had to be FaZe. It had to be FaZe, and it was not. So, speaking of what it was not, Hoop is what it was. He had a 1.31, 72 and 55. Mercules, of course, the savior of OpTic, as I always call him, 71 and 57. He went nuts. Dashy, 61 and 60, and Shotzzy, the warlord, 60 and 58. So 1.15 team KD for the OpTic Texas boys. Big diff between them and G2, who had a 0.87. Estrel had a really bad series. Mamba had a bad one. Skies had a bad one, and so did Kremp. So not a lot to say. Everybody on G2. I mean, you have 0.8s to 0.9s. Like, it's the range of like getting tucked is pretty relatively close for all of these guys. So yeah, you can't really be too mad at anybody. So we'll check out the map 1 and the map 3 since those were close. Map 2, 6-4. Pretty decent differential between those round-wise, so no point in getting into that. So as you guys can see, the standout for the map 1 Colossus Hardpoint, Kremp Colossus, whatever you want to call it, was Hook, 32 and 27. As you guys saw, he's a series MVP, so clearly Hook had a day. 29 and 28 from Merc, 27 and 28 from Shotzzy, and 27 and 29 from Dashy. Now on the other side, Kremp 29 and 28. 29-29 for Mamba, Skies 29-29, and Estrel 25-29. So everybody on the G2 side had a pretty decent effort. I mean, they all dropped 20, basically the same KD, 29-29, and then Estrel was just a little bit behind. You'd have to think if Estrel was like a little bit more of a solid contributor throughout this game, they probably get a little bit closer if they don't win it. So in the exposure S&D, the map 2, of course, Estrel was a standout here for the G2 side, but Merc and Hook dropped 21 between the two of them. 11 for Merc, 10 for Hook. 5 deaths for both of them, and Dashy had 9 and 7, while Shotzzy had 4 and 7. Shotzzy didn't have to do anything, so not really mad at him having such a low KD when the other two guys on the team dropped 21 kills together. Like, that's insane. That's like enough for 3 people. So yeah, speaking of having enough pressure for 3 people, OpTic Texas closed it out with a 3-2 on Overload. Was this Park the Bus? I don't think OpTic parked the bus because they are definitely concerned with what fans think. So I appreciate that from them. 30 and 23 from Hook, 31-24 from Merc, 29 and 23 for Shotzzy, and 25 and 24 for Mr. Splashy himself to get the 3-2 and consequently the 3-0. So let's check out that series. Let's check out the highlights. Let's check out map 1 and map 3. Also, I included the walkouts for you guys, so you can see the walkouts on land, you can hear the crowd reaction, all that. I thought it was a nice little touch to add in to just increase the immersion. If you're watching highlights, you get to see all of the pomp and circumstance, you know, the whole thing, the build-up. I also included some of the desk segment for some of the series as well, so you guys can see what the desk was thinking going into the series. Because the Miami series was really funny. The desk all voted Miami. So let's check out the end of this game.
Doesn't check the right corner. Hardpoint changes hands.
Yep, OpTic let him get close, and they were overwhelming on the break. Nail-biter, though. OpTic 23 seconds away from winning map number 1. G2, though, 25
Every time I see Mercules player cam, like, he looks so locked in, bro. I would love to have him as a teammate in pubs. Listen to the crowd roaring, bro. Listen to him roar.
Here comes Merc once again. Hook joining him in the feed. Mamba trying to get something going, but it's a coverage from Skies, and the break is there. 7 HP, no 2-piece from Dashy. Skies can't get the kill, and that will be game. OpTic Texas take map number 1.
That had me so weak. When he hit Hook at the end, that had me so weak. I'm like, why are you hitting, bro? He's like, good shit, Kyler. That had me dead. Alright, so this is the second half. As you guys saw, it went 3-2 in favor of OpTic, so clearly they ran it up at the end.
Otherwise, he's in a bit of trouble. The reinforcements better get there quick. Here comes the attempt.
This was like 5 hours ago, so I low-key forgot what this looked like.
Equalizer found.
and they're still getting spawn trapped. Shotzzy is still here with the pressure. The
Possession is key. Dictating the play right now.
And you got Shotzzy on the bench. As long as Hoop can stay alive in this moment, his team is making the plays, doing everything he can. You lose a few gunfights, Hoop just trying to get out of dodge. And while he's safe, his teammates able to give him 2 in the feed. There's number 3. The open lane is in.
Oh! That's it! 30 seconds to go! Kyler Garland puts it home!
Dude, Hook was having a massive takeover series today.
Might just be the game, and OpTic still maintaining this pressure. They got the Hellstorm.
You gotta love it, because Hook has always been criminally underrated in this league. Why the F was he on Surge? Why was he on Surge?
10 seconds.
Why was he ever on Surge?
Buys himself a few more, and here comes the saving grace. What an investment. Surely this is the end.
Surge is where CDL careers go to die, man. Just never been on there. Look at these guys, man. They're on point. I'll be honest with y'all. I don't see a world tomorrow. I mean, it would be interesting if someone else won, but if I'm being honest with you, just as a person who doesn't support any of the teams in the league anymore, I don't see a world where OpTic loses tomorrow at home. I genuinely don't. I think they win this whole event at this point. I mean, mates look good, but, you know, when OpTic gets in flow state, stats and everything go out the window. You guys know, obviously, I'm doing box score. Like, I love stats. I'm an analyst. Like, stats are very important to me, but there's certain times when heuristics are just more important than stats, right? Like, I don't know. So, yeah, let's not get too deep into the weeds. Let's get into this series. Drazah, the CEO of LA Thieves, I guess, now, and OpTic, and Cloud9 as well, because he always runs them. He dropped a 1.42, 75 kills, 53 deaths, 9,000 damage, 1.22 IR. Drazah said, Aluka who? Yeah, he's not getting replaced by Aluka anytime soon. We'll check out the exposure, because yeah, it was Park the Bus Cheese times 2, bro. We got Park the Bus Cheese from FaZe twice today. So let's look at the box score. 75 and 53 from Drazah, 1.42. Abuzah 75 and 61. Simp 64 and 59. And then 04 went negative 15. So they're lucky that they won this, because going negative 15 could have been the difference maker between them winning and losing the series. It was, I mean, it was a mid-off between Kenny and 04. Like, I mean, it is what it is. 04 is too worried about hitting the Dougie after beating people online, evidently. And, you know, the skills haven't translated to LAN just yet. And 04 is usually a LANimal, so this is surprising. But, speaking of things that are surprising, well, not surprising, Scrap had a 1.18. He did everything he could, and once again, Scrap was let down by his teammates on the LA Thieves. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, this was just kind of a series where, I don't know, man, like, LA Thieves just weren't locked in after this map 1. Like, the way that they lost this map 1, I'm going to pull it up in a second, but let's check out the box scores first, bound the context, and then we'll watch the matches. You see Scrap had a 1.34, Hydra dropped 40 with a 1.05, aBeZy had 23 and 32, so he had a 0.72, bad map 1 from him, and then Ken was right there with him putting up a stinker as well, 26 and 38. And on the other side, CEO did CEO things. Drazah dropped 41 and 28. Abuzah dropped 45 and 34 on Scar, which is crazy. I think Kremp set the record at 50 on Kremp losses, right? And then Exnid had 50 on... Exnid had 51 last year at one point. Against OpTic, I think. I'm pretty sure Exnid is a CDL hardpoint record holder with 51. Maybe it was 50. I know Exnid dropped over 50 kills. Or at least 50 kills. Anyways, Abuzah was inching closer to the record. Simp went even 30 and 30, and 04 went negative 15, so he just had a really rough one. 250 to 235. Just remember that it was close, because we're going to watch it in a second. Game 2, Colossus S&D, was not too easy for aBeZy. It was too easy for Abuzah and Drazah, the Zaza twins, the Za brothers, whatever you want to call them. They were frying. Abuzah 8 and 3, Drazah 9 and 4, Simp 7 and 4, and 04 5 and 6. So 04 was more of a solid contributor in this game. That definitely helped them get over the hump in such dominant fashion. Maybe the map 1 would have been a little bit more dominant for FaZe if they had gotten some help from 04. Obviously, Drazah and Abuzah were shooting, And Simp was as well. He dropped 30 kills. So you would have to figure that if 04 drops even like 26, 28, it's a very different game. And FaZe probably blow him out. So as you guys saw before, I also G-Stake wagered on this one. I wagered 69 creds on this. Nice. And I won 117. So I was 4-1 today in my predictions. So I did very well on series. I predicted everything correct except for the last series of the day, which we'll get into obviously next. Speaking of getting into next, we have the Exposure Overload. The last map in this series went 4-3 in favor of FaZe Vegas. I'm pretty sure, like I said a minute ago, they parked the bus and I cringed to the max. So we'll check that out. Hydra 28 and 25. He tried to keep them in this, but when you have Kenny going 17 and 27, I mean, it is what it is, right? Scrap was 22 and 22, so not a big contribution from him, but he was definitely dealing that damage. aBeZy 25 and 24. He contributed very well. And Scrap had 2 overloads, so his contribution was very, very good. Obviously, he was objectively contributing, so, you know, that definitely helps. So looking at the FaZe side, Drazah had 2 overloads. He was definitely the MVP of this map. 25 and 21, 1.19. Highest KD, most damage. Well, Abuzah had more damage, but highest KD, second most damage, and most overloads, so MVP makes sense. Simp, I mean, 27 and 25, what else is there really to say? And this is where 04 got his get back 24 and 23, so he really helped him to get over the hump because Abuzah had a slightly negative performance, but 22 and 24, it's negligible, right? So, let's check out the map 1 and the map 3. Let's check out those highlights.
OpTic, it looks.
So let's check out the end of the game because LA Thieves, they got, I mean, FaZe had 2 insane comebacks today. So, LA Thieves had them down 200 to 160. It was really about 200 to 150, as you guys saw there. O4 was 14 and 30 at this point in the game. Dude was double negative.
Decent exit kills here for FaZe. Down as we head back to our first hard point. Thieves all over the map and making the most of their 1v1s.
Yeah, this is where 04 needs to turn it around. Right here, right now. You want to stay able to get that trade. So you're on the time, but you're surrounded by LA. Abuzah, again, another bailout double. You're still on it.
He's just dragging this FaZe team through some of the most difficult moments as he gets to 5 in a row. Shut down, though, by Hydra. And again, that reluctancy for FaZe to run a 4th AR. Is that going to cost them here as Kenny cuts off things from mid? Nice shots on the Simp. Opportunity here for Thieves to get numbers and get some more time here on the first hill.
They're just playing keep away, and just with that route out of Kenny, you know that they're swanning on the backside of Train, so they have to funnel their way through Delhi. And that's easier when you have the crossfires being set up. You cannot win here. It's going to be off the rotation when you have to get the job done in FaZe already.
I can't believe Simp sent aBeZy and Salim home in the same day, bro.
No one gets behind you. Couple of staggered spawns though. Has Drazah with a double.
That's the thing that blew my mind. How does he send both of his former teammates home in the same day? You can't write this stuff. Real life is always so crazy. You can't script what happens in real life.
You got to set up a pinch route.
Crazy things happen every day.
Stunts and nades might not have an impact in case trophies are down, but 04 is going to switch up his spot.
Like, how did this guy eliminate both of his former teammates in the same day? Like, you can't even script this stuff.
No Hydra's nearby. 04 able to get the turnover, and there's an opportunity here for Thieves to possibly find a way to rotate new, but 04's taken away 3 in a row for him.
And they still in firm control of the hard point, but now
I'm watching this now. I know what happens. I watched it earlier, and I'm like, what's going to happen? It's just such an electric ending to a game.
It's Abuzah, it's Simp, it's Drazah, all 4 dead in the feed. Now a race over towards P3.
And guess who's here first? 04.
This FaZe team has way more, like,
get a shutdown on this route. Thieves get 5.
I don't even know how to describe it. They just have way more composure overall, I would say.
He's able to find a second. aBeZy trying to clear the field, not able to.
Like, they're never out of a game. They can always come back, which is pretty remarkable. Most FaZe teams, they would check so easily. They'd be checked.
Changes in for FaZe.
And then for Simp to get the last kill on aBeZy is poetic.
Simp out of this position, and he finds his tiny terror duo in aBeZy. Last moment here for Thieves.
Oh.
Hydra gets one, but you got to get into contest. Abuzah's watching it. He finds himself the first. No one else able to.
Last kill is aBeZy. That's tough.
Drags FaZe back from the grave.
Oh my God.
So I included this because
Every
it was just
single
crazy.
time. Don't get one lead change until the final.
So
Now through
they never
top
even
lane, ready
came
for the
close to
second
taking the lead until
gunfight.
the end.
Trying to
So we're watching the overload because
Your job is to just play,
I told you
keep
guys it was
away,
pretty close.
catch
So we'll watch the
guys
end of
on
this overload.
spawn. Another 3 dead, EMP in the hands of FaZe. Trying to basically close this game right here, right now.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to score it with the Hellstorm coming in.
Gotta stay
Everyone's stuck inside of P4. 4-2 the count. And Simp still finding connection here, honestly. Simp's just trying to stay alive. Abuzah gives you one. Pistol works out, though, for Simp.
yeah, they did try to park the bus cheese. And then LA Thieves did exactly what everyone wants teams to do. Countered the park the bus cheese and scored.
Park the bus. You need to keep the registration active, though.
Need to keep the registration active. W
We're
shift.
losing the fight still. We're losing
W
the numbers
shift.
battle. Now it's all on Hydra to just value his life as long as he can. He's able to find one. But when you
That
lose
was funny.
last
Shift is a funny
player,
guy. He's a funny
FaZe can
guy.
just retrieve the EMP, and now you got 20 seconds to break the bus again.
Here we go. Scrap quickly. Trying to come around the corner. Not going to happen this time. Time too much of an issue, it feels like.
Ernie was
And
frantically
aBeZy
running
will
it
be
down.
shut
That
down.
3-0 was calling to him like the Green
man.
Goblin mask.
You thought for a second that little breakdown may have allowed Thieves a chance, but just not
He's like,
enough
I can't
time
get
on
3-0
the
by
clock.
Drazah, bro.
FaZe are
Well,
gonna
you
get
did.
some revenge. Find themselves a 3-0, eliminating the Thieves and moving on.
Yo, he said 3-0, you're going home, fuckers. Yo, that's
He
crazy.
has another one added to the tally here versus Scrap. It's just an insane series there from FaZe, and it's all built off of the momentum that they gained in that map number 1. You're not supposed to
Drazah
do
and
that.
Scrap
You're
dapping
in
each
the
other up
driver's
is
seat
crazy
for
plot
every single second
progression.
of that game until the
Considering the
final
fact they almost
15.
fought last year,
And then you make the adjustments. You fix
love to
them
see
on
that development from the two men on the stage. Alright, so speaking of development, we had to close out the day. G2 Minnesota absolutely dumpstering Miami Heretics. The Vamos turned to Parada. You know, they said, hey, Vamos no more. Stop. 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 It's G2 time. So, speaking of G2 time, who else but Caesar Skies led the charge? Like I said, 1.31 KD, 64 kills, 49 deaths, 8,900 damage, 1.14. Baby Formal is back. Skies is in his Baby Formal arc again. And you know what? I'm happy to see it. Skies is a great player. He's definitely one of everybody's favorite pro players to watch, if you ask most people in the community. Just good vibes. I mean, he's got a great POV. Like, there's nothing to dislike about Skies, bro. So happy to see him doing well, even if it's at the expense of this Miami team, who we've all come to fall in love with over this weekend, right? Like, we all really like this Miami Heretics team. The crowd was really behind them the whole time. And just kind of sucks they ran out of gas in this matchup against G2. But G2, they looked really good going into this, so them randomly becoming a lead again kind of makes sense. They had a few small things to iron out, especially after that OpTic series where they got dominated. And they could have kept it close. They could have made it even closer. So, G2 looks phenomenal going into their series against FaZe tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a second. But, yeah, this is a great showing from them. Kremp 62 and 54. Mamba 64 and 57. And then Estriel slightly neg 55 and 57. But still, great performance from Estriel. And the entire crew, right? So, looking at the map 1, this, of course, was 250-146 in favor of the G2 Minnesota side. They absolutely dominated on this map. 26 and 22 from Kremp. Skies kill leader 30 and 21, 1.43 KD, 4,000 damage. Absolutely nuts. 26 and 23 from Mamba. 29 and 23 from RenKoR. And then everybody on Koi. Heretics went negative. Metals was slightly negative. He was neg 1 kill, so not really negative in his case. But Super 20-26 and then Trakes 21-28. So they got tucked to bed. Good night. Pillow, warm milk. You know the deets, the typical, you know, rollout that you need. So, speaking of the typical rollout, the Miami Heretics went up 5-3. They had a lead, 5-4, I believe. And then G2 clawed it back behind Estriel's absolute takeover performance, 11 and 5 from the kid. He looked amazing in this S&D. Skies 8 and 6, Mamba 8 and 9, and Kremp 5 and 6. And then on the Miami side, excusez-moi, 10-7 out of Super. His Rookie of the Year duo, RenKoR, 7-7. Excuse me. Trakes, the new duo. The new rookie, 8-8. And then Metals, 1-10. So, that's tough. Looking at the map 3, Scar Overload, of course, we had Mamba going 30-25, Kremp 31-26, Skies 26-22, and Estral going even, 23-23, to send Miami home in really sad fashion. Honestly, I hated to see them lose like this. Getting 3-0'd sucks. And with it being such a close 3-0, that's even more heartbreaking, right? You lost around 11, lost to Overload by 1 score, and all the Overloads that they had played this weekend thus far, they won by 1 score. So, definitely a heartbreaking way to lose, if we're being honest. So let's check out the highlights. We're going to check out the maps 2 and 3, which is not as normal for us. We usually check out 1 and 3. But let's check out 2 and 3, guys. So look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I included this because I was just like, oh, hell no. There's no way. There's no way. I saw this happen, and I was like, oh, God. G2's definitely winning. So,
Miami doing it in 4. It's time to send it to the stage for an upset, please.
I don't know if it's going to be an upset yet, Chris, because when it comes down to these fans, they're kind of split 50-50. We know how
okay, so the desk unanimously backed Miami. So that's a thing that happened. So let's check out how big they went up in this scoreline. So it got to 4-4. Miami went up 5-4. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. That's not that bad of a choke, right, guys? Right? 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 Okay. No, no. I guess it is that bad of a joke. Copium. I'm on that Copium hard, so.
Right now it's 4 versus 3. I think the call's gonna be super. You're gonna have to make a play.
Copium got me coughing.
I don't think so.
Hitting it too hard.
Based on Mamba's reaction, that does not seem to be the case.
You know what else was getting hit too hard? This flank from Super. And that knife. He got chalked. That trade on Trakes was huge. Then it left RenKoR in an unplayable position, right? 2v1. Both guys are stacked up here. And yeah, I mean, it was over. So that's how the map 2 ended. Bros in P4 just hanging. Alright, so let's check out the last minute of this game. Obviously, you guys know who won and who lost. I wonder who wins! No, I'm trolling. But let's check out the end of this. We'll watch the last minute. I always include the last minute of these overloads so you guys can see like the last minute of what went down and whether or not it was interesting. No matter if it's a blowout or not, I always include the last minute. So
just could not get across.
Skies shutting it down. He knows how clutch they can be. He wants to give him no opportunity to make the play. Skies' streak will come to an end. But Heretics tournament about to come.
I wonder if they'll ever update Overload to have it where, like, when you pick up the Overload in the end of the game, it extends it. Like, the winning, imagine the winning team picked up the Overload trying to do the park the bus cheese, but it extends the game by 30 seconds still, like regular OT. Now, as it stands, like, if you pick it up and you're the winning team, then the game just ends.
G2 into the top 4 and Sunday.
So that's how G2 secured their spot on Championship Sunday, which is what we're going to look at now and try to forecast. You guys saw, well, I'll let you guys see right here. We're going to go to G-Stake. We're not going to do Play Cracked because it's just going to take too long for me to enter all the player props and everything. But I will give you guys my takes for tomorrow's matches. So I'm thinking that in the rubber match, even though FaZe has lost both times to G2, I think tomorrow they get right. Tomorrow's a new day, new opportunities, and, you know, new possibilities, right? So I think FaZe, I think they take this series against G2. I think because it's G2, hard attack Minnesota, every single time they have to force a game 5. I feel like this goes 5, and I think FaZe win it. I'm going to guess that the game 5 is probably either Raid or Colossus. I think G2, the theme of this weekend for them has been coming out really hot in the map 1s and clawing back wins. So I think they take map 1. think FaZe obviously take the S&D map too. Knowing how Call of Duty goes, it'll be the inverse. FaZe will take map 1, G2 will take map 2. And then I think Overload probably goes to FaZe because they lost it the last time they faced off. They got 3-0'd the last time they played, right? On Friday, was it 3-0 or 3-1? I think it was 3-0. Let's check the schedule. I'm pretty sure it was a 3-0, right? Actually, let's just sort by teams. FaZe Vegas, Major 1 tournament, Riyadh, Boston, 3-0, right? Okay. And what were the maps here? Blackheart, Scar, and Den. So we're definitely not seeing Blackheart as map 1. Probably be Scar, I would guess. Map 2 will likely be Raid, if I had to guess. And map 5 will probably be Colossus. Maybe a Colossus gets through as map 4 as well. Maybe we see Colossus. And then we'll probably get Den Overload again. Both times that these teams have faced off, we've seen them play Den Overload. So I don't see why that changes. It's one of FaZe's best overloads, probably their best overload. And then conversely, G2, they're really good at Den Overload as well. I mean, they're good at Scar Overload, so they could play that too, but I just see them playing Den. It's straight square up, straight bang out. So I think FaZe take that one just because this is it's not a rubber match at this point. It's just a grudge match, I guess. Well, this is the Major 1 rubber match, right? These guys are facing off again in the rematch. So I guess this technically is a rubber match for the tournament, but not overall, since these two teams have played 2 times in the last 3 weeks. On land and online. So I think FaZe win it. I think they probably take the game 3, G2 take the game 4. I think G2 sweeps the hard points just because FaZe's hard point has been a little bit They've been coming from behind and clawing back these wins, but a team like G2, they're very, very well disciplined, and they've been playing some very undisciplined teams like Falcons and LA Thieves who just don't really know how to play the game and dominate for their standards just yet. So that's why I think FaZe win it. I think it'll be a tight one, but I think their S&D and their Overload are what carry them. I think it's a dirty Neslo. I think it's the dirtiest Neslo you'll see. And I think that's how the FaZe Vegas, the Pink Boys, take down the Purple. So, speaking of people who I think will take down the Pink Boys, we have OpTic Texas, the host of Major 1, our defending CDL 2025 World Champions who got their rings today. So we'll put 205 G-Stake creds on OpTic because of the year 2025. Them being defending world champs. Actually, let's make it 245 because 24, 25 world champs. You see what I did there? 245. All right. So we'll place the wager on OpTic Texas. Gentlemates is favored, but OpTic is at home. I mean, I've learned over the years you don't go against OpTic at home. When they have the drum cheese, when they have the green wall on their side, these guys, they look like MJ in Space Jam with the shoes before the Monster sapped his powers. Just crossing everybody up, hitting the threes like 04. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I feel like OpTic probably get it done in 4 if we're being honest. I mean, mates have looked phenomenal. If they win, I would be happy with that too. Mate win is amazing, but OpTic is OpTic. They're at home. At home, they just turn into a different beast. When they have a good team, they're a different beast. Last year, with Pred, Kenny, chalked, right? Absolutely chalked beyond belief. That team was hopeless. So this year with Merc, yeah, I mean, I think they're taking down Gentlemates again. It looks like they're right back where we started at the beginning of the year with them being the best team in the game and being not necessarily ahead, but pretty dominant when they do play up against really good teams. Like, they made G2 Minnesota look terrible, and they clearly were not terrible because of the way they took down Miami, right? Like, G2 was not just off in that series. OpTic was just way better. So, that's where I'll end it for today, guys. Hope you have a great morning, noon, or night. If you checked out any of the matches, I hope you enjoyed them. If you missed any of them, obviously, your boy got the highlights right here. So, you know, I'm the plug for that. Come rock with me if you haven't already. We've gotten a few subscribers in the last day. I think 5 or 6. So, pretty awesome how you guys have been showing love to the channel. Really appreciate all the new people who've signed on and started rocking with your boy. So, yeah. This is only the beginning. We have a long season ahead of us. I'm going to do highlights of everything like I have been. Let's see how many highlights I've done this year. Let's check out the CDL 2026 playlist. So,
Skies' streak will come to an end.
I've made 77 videos this season thus far. And as you can see, most of these are highlights. Most of these are highlights. So, yeah, we've done a lot of highlights this season, guys. If you missed any match from the CDL season, I have literally all of them this year. I'm doing way better than I did in the MW2 season when I last did highlights. I did not have all the highlights. So, yeah, let's end this off. It's been 50 minutes. It's a long video. I don't think anyone's necessarily watching to the end, but if you did, just comment something below like ferret or something random to let me know that you watched this far. And yeah, be sure to check out codstats.com. Get in on PlayCracked if you haven't. Try to take me down. I'm sitting atop the leaderboards and no one's even close to me. I feel like Thanos right now. Like, someone needs to send the chow. Send the chow. I'm 3 tickets ahead of everybody else. Like, catch up to your boy. I'm smoking everybody. Number 1 on the PlayCrack leaderboards. No one's even close. So, if you're seeing this, you know, try to take me down, man. Try to take me down, because it's getting boring being unchallenged on these leaderboards. But, yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hope you have a great morning, noon, or night, like I said before. And, yeah, tomorrow is going to be an absolute banger. The top 4 looks very, very, very solid. G2's looked amazing this weekend, as have Gentlemates, OpTic, and FaZe. So, we're shaping up to have an incredible finish to the weekend. And I hope you guys enjoyed all of the action this weekend. Yeah, so catch you guys on the next one, which will be highlights and then a recap video tomorrow night. That'll be recording tomorrow night, posting on Monday. So, hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night, like I always say, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Once again, this is Chris from Fake Sports News, Action Rotation, however the flip you know me is in the webs, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.